What if the biggest AI story of May was not that the models got smarter, but that they started acting more like workers? This month, AI moved from answering questions to handling tasks, attracted massive infrastructure spending, entered healthcare debates, and forced governments to ask a very serious question: who is testing these systems before they touch real life? Welcome back to the Business and AI podcast. This is your May 2026 AI Roundup, and this month the story is simple. AI agents are no longer waiting on the sidelines, they are stepping into the systems we use every day. For more than 20 years, search has worked like a doorway. You type something in, you click a few links, and then you find the answer yourself. In May 2026, Google showed a very different future. What happens when search stops being a doorway and starts becoming a worker? At Google I/O 2026, the company pushed what it called the agentic Gemini era. That phrase sounds technical, but the idea is simple. Google wants AI to do more of the work behind the scenes. Search information agents can monitor topics, gather details, and help users take action. Gemini 3.5 is built for coding and agentic workflows. Gemini Omni moves deeper into video and multimodal AI, and across search, Gemini, YouTube, shopping, Gmail, and devices, Google is clearly trying to make AI the new interface for daily life. That changes the game for businesses. In the old internet, you wanted people to find your website. In the agent era, you need AI systems to understand your product, trust your information, and recommend you at the right moment. It also changes the game for regular users. Search becomes less about digging through links and more about asking better questions, comparing options, and using AI to organize decisions. But there is a catch. When an agent helps choose what you see, digital literacy matters even more. The biggest question becomes: are you using the agent, or is the agent quietly shaping your choices? And that takes us from Google's world of search to OpenAI's world of smarter, more autonomous systems. OpenAI had the kind of month where the product roadmap started to feel like a trailer for the next phase of computing. First came GPT 5.5 instance, positioned as faster, sharper, and more reliable for everyday GPT use. Then came new voice models for developers, pointing towards AI agents that can listen, speak, translate, transcribe, and reason in time. Then Codex Remote Access came to the ChatGPT mobile app, making it easier to manage code from your phone while the agent keeps working on something else. That alone would have made it a big month, but then came the research story. OpenAI said one of its reasoning models autonomously disapproved a long-standing conjecture in district geometry, connected to a problem first posed by Paul Erdos in 1946. The math itself is fascinating, but the larger question is even bigger. Are we entering a period where AI does not just summarize what humans already know, but helps discover things humans had not solved? This is why the OpenAI Foundation's $250 million commitment to economic futures also matters. If AI systems become more capable across coding, voice, research, and work, society has to think seriously about who benefits, who gets disrupted, and how workers and communities adapt. For viewers, the lesson is practical. Do not learn how to prompt only, learn how to delegate, learn how to check AI work, learn how to use voice, coding, writing, and research tools as collaborators. Because the future advantage may not go to the person who uses AI once in a while, it may go to the person who knows how to manage AI work from start to finish. And businesses are already moving in that direction, especially in places where time, money, and compliance matter most. The finance intern just got competition, and this one works inside the spreadsheet. Anthropic launched finance agents for enterprise workflows with templates for pitch books, KYC screening, month-end close, equity research, due diligence, and risk assessment. That matters because finance is not a casual AI playbook. It is full of sensitive data, regulation, repetitive documentation, and decisions that can carry real risk. And this is where the agent story becomes very real. AI is not just writing a paragraph and making a slide prettier. It's moving into professional workflows that used to take teams of analysts, associates, and back office staff. That creates opportunity and pressure at the same time. Companies can move faster, but early career professionals may need to learn differently. If AI drafts the first pitch book or risk memo, then the human value shifts towards judgment, review, context, and accountability. So the practical skill is not just can you use AI? It is can you verify what AI produced? Can you support the weak assumption, the missing source, the number that does not add up? In the agent era, AI may create the first draft. Your value is knowing whether that draft deserves to survive. And this is not just happening in one company or one industry. Adoption is spreading across the world. AI is no longer a Silicon Valley experiment. It is becoming a global behavior pattern. Microsoft's Global AI Diffusion Report showed AI usage rising across the working age population, with some economies moving fast and others falling behind. That gap matters because AI is not only a tool for convenience, it can shape productivity, education, entrepreneurship, and national competitiveness. And this is where the business story becomes a people story. If one company is using AI to write, code, analyze, sell, and support customers faster, while another company is still doing everything manually, the gap grows. If one student has AI tutoring and another student does not, the gap grows. If one company builds AI skills into its workforce and another waits, the gap grows. For everyday viewers, the message is not to panic, it is to start now. Use AI to improve how you research, write, plan, learn, organize information, and make decisions. Start with the task you already do every week. Because AI divide may not simply be between people who have access and people who do not. It may be between people who build new habits early and the people who wait until the workforce forces them to catch up. And in May, we started seeing what happens when workplaces stop waiting. And here's the fifth story. This is the part of the AI story that stops feeling abstract. In May, Standard Chartered announced plans to cut thousands of jobs over several years as it leans further into AI and automation. Meta also laid out restructuring plans that would move thousands of employees towards AI initiatives and flatten parts of the organization. The important point is not just layoffs, it is redesign. Companies are starting to ask if AI can handle more writing, analysis, coding, customer service, research, and admin work, what should the organization look like? Some jobs will shrink, some will disappear, some will be redesigned, and new roles will grow around AI operations, governance, evaluation, workflow design, cybersecurity, and human review. The companies that handle this badly will simply cut people and lose knowledge. The companies that handle it well will retrain workers, redesign processes, and build teams that know how to work with AI responsibly. For individuals, this is the time to map your own job. What do you do every week? Which tasks are repetitive? Which tasks need judgment? Which tasks involve trust, relationship, or risk? That map is how you figure out where AI can help you and where you need to become harder to replace. The safest worker may not be the one who avoids AI. It may be the one who understands both the job and the automation. And that kind of power is exactly why governments are paying attention. The new arms race is not only about missiles, chips, or satellites. We're now moving on to our sixth story. It's about models. In May, US AI safety and standards work continued with frontier model evaluation, including attention on DeepSeek. At the same time, lawmakers pushed efforts to counter Chinese AI and technology sales abroad by helping allied governments buy US AI models, chips, cloud tools, software, and cybersecurity systems. This tells us something very important. AI is no longer being treated as just another app category. It is becoming strategic infrastructure. The countries that control the models, chips, cloud, platforms, and safety standards may also shape the rules of the digital economy. For companies, that means AI buying decisions are going to become more complicated. It will not only be about features and price, it will also be about security, data protection, compliance, supply chains, and geopolitical risk. For regular users, it's a reminder that trust matters. When you use an AI tool, you're not just using a clever interface, you are connecting to a larger system of data, model training, cloud infrastructure, and policy choices. In the agent era, trust is not decoration, trust is infrastructure. And while the US is treating AI as a strategic asset, Europe is wrestling with a different question. How hard should it regulate before the market even settles? Europe wanted to be the world's AI rulebook. In May, that rulebook got more complicated. EU countries and lawmakers reached a provisional deal that would delay and soften parts of landmark AI rules, especially around high risk systems. Supporters saw it as a way to reduce pressure on businesses and avoid slowing innovation. Critics saw it as Europe backing away from stronger protection rights when AI is entering sensitive parts of daily life. And this is the tension every region is facing. Move too slowly and companies may fall behind. Move too fast without rules and people become exposed to harms before anyone knows who is accountable. For businesses, this means compliance cannot be treated as a future problem. Even when deadlines shift, AI governance is becoming part of how serious companies operate. For citizens, it means we should expect more debates over labels, disclosures, watermarking, risk categories, and the right to challenge automated decisions. The future of AI will not be shaped only in labs, it will be shaped in parliaments, in courts, boardrooms, and public pressure. And all of that policy debate depends on one very physical question: who has enough infrastructure to run this new AI economy? Now to our eighth story. Every AI agent needs somewhere to think, and that somewhere is becoming enormous. In May, Nvidia reported another record quarter driven by data center demand. Anthropic raised a massive new funding round at a staggering valuation with compute access at the center of its growth story. And Saudi Arabia's Humane moved to finance major AI data center capacity as the Middle East pushed deeper into the global AI race. This is one of the most important business stories of the month because AI is not just software anymore. It is land, chips, electricity, cooling, fiber, cloud contracts, engineering talent, and capital. The companies with access to compute can train bigger models, serve more customers, and run more agents at scale. The regions with enough power and infrastructure can attract investment. The communities hosting these facilities may see jobs and development, but also new pressure on energy grid, water use, and local planning. For viewers looking for opportunity, do not limit your imagination to AI jobs that involve building models. The AI boom also needs people in cloud operations, cybersecurity, energy, data center construction, cooling systems, chip supply chains, compliance, and AI workflow management. The chatbot is what people see. The infrastructure is what makes it possible. And as AI moves into more of life, the next question becomes more personal. What happens when these systems enter our money and our health? And in our ninth story from the month of May 2026, we see AI moving into personal money and health. The most personal AI stories of May were not about robots, they were about your bank account and, of course, your health. OpenAI launched personal finance features for US Pro users, allowing people to connect financial accounts through Cleared and ask ChatGPT questions grounded in their spending, bills, subscriptions, net worth, and investments. Used carefully, that could help people understand where their money is going, prepare smarter questions, and notice patterns they might otherwise miss. But there is a reason OpenAI made clear that ChatGPT cannot move money, pay bills, trade, file taxes, or act as a financial advisor. Some areas of life need stronger boundaries. That point became even clearer when Pennsylvania sued Character AI, alleging that chatbots posed as licensed medical professionals. This is not a small issue. Health, therapy, money, and safety are areas where people are vulnerable. A friendly sounding chatbot can feel trustworthy even when it has no license, no accountability, and no real understanding of consequences. The practical lesson is not to avoid these tools, it is to use them wisely. Let AI organize your information, summarize options, help you prepare better questions, but do not let it replace a licensed professional when the stakes involve health, taxes, investments, legal rights, or safety. AI can help you see patterns in your life. It should not quietly become the authority over your life. And while US companies push deeper into personal AI, Europe's Mistral is making a different bet. Agents for real industrial work. And that is our 10th story for today, for the month of May. While much of the AI conversation focused on chatbots, search, and consumer tools, Mistral leaned into a very different lane, practical agents for work, code, and industry. In May, Mistral pushed Vibe remote agents, Mistral Medium 3.5, and work-focused AI tools, while also highlighting industrial engineering, physics AI, and partnerships connected to manufacturing-heavy sectors. That matters because the next wave of AI may not always look like a chat window. It may look like a faster design cycle, a better factory simulation, a safer robot, a smarter logistics system, or a more efficient engineering workflow. It also matters geopolitically. Europe does not want the AI future to be completely dependent on American and Chinese platforms. Mistral is part of a broader push for a sovereign AI, where countries and regions want systems that serve their industries, respect their rules, and protect their data. For anyone outside the tech industry, this is the signal to watch. AI is becoming operations, manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, education, finance, and public services. The opportunity is not just to become an AI engineer, it's to understand how AI changes your field. Because the future of AI may not be a robot walking into your office, it might be your workflow quietly becoming faster, smaller, and more automated. And now, before we close, there are two more main stories that deserve attention. First, AI search hits the copyright wall again. CNN sued Perplexity, alleging that AI search company unlawfully used and distributed CNN content. This is not just a media fight, it's a preview of a much bigger question. If AI systems summarize the internet, who gets paid for the original work? Second, healthcare AI kept pulling in major investment. Commune reached a $7 billion valuation with a platform focused on automating healthcare administrative workflows like revenue cycle management. That may not sound as dramatic as a robot doctor, but it could affect everyday care in a very real way. A lot of healthcare frustration comes from paperwork, billing, scheduling, claims, and back office delays. If AI can reduce that burden, the impact could be huge. Together, all of these stories show the same pattern. AI becomes most powerful when it controls workflow. But the more workflow it controls, the more we have to ask who owns the data, who gets paid, and who is accountable when something goes wrong. So, that was May of 2026. Google turned search into an agent platform. OpenAI pushed smarter models, voice, coding, research, and economic transition. Anthropic brought agents into finance. Microsoft showed that adoption is spreading, but unevenly. Companies started redesigning work around AI. Governments treated models as national security assets. The EU slowed down parts of its AI rulebook. Data centers became the new AI battlefield, and personal AI moved closer to our money, our health, and our daily decisions. The biggest lesson from me is that AI is no longer just a tool you open, it's becoming a layer inside work, search, finance, healthcare, infrastructure, and policy. So, for business owners, the question is where can AI improve a workflow, not just generate more content? For workers, the question is which parts of my job can AI assist and which parts require my judgment? And for everyday people, the question is how do I use these tools without handing over my privacy, my choices, or my common sense? And this is your May 2026 AI Roundup for the Business and AI podcast. If this helped you understand where AI is heading, like, subscribe, tell us in the comments which story do you think will affect your work or your life the most. We'll see you in the next Roundup.